Hi Pisces, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your December 2020 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. As far as the personal readings go, I'm probably going to start those back up again in January. Just wanted to give you an update there. As far as what we have in front of us, it's a Celtic cross spread as always, and I also pulled some Oracle cards and a Mudra card for you guys. So we'll get started with the main spread. Alright. In the main situation position, we have the Lovers in reverse. So this is actually the Major Arcana card for Gemini. So this can point to a few things. Of course, this could say that maybe you're having a difficult time within a love relationship. But for some of you, given that Gemini energy represents your fourth house, this could also be around family relationships as well. And possibly just communication in general. There could be a little bit of difficulty with that. Right as we're starting December, basically, you would have just gone through a full moon eclipse in Gemini. So could definitely be some impact around communication and possibly, like I said, with family, but obviously with the lovers, you do have to consider the possibility that could be a romantic connection as well. All right. In the challenger obstacle position, we have the Death card, which is Scorpio energy, the Magician, which I usually view as South Node energy, the Four of Wands, which is Aries energy, and the Empress, which could be Taurus or Venus energy, or excuse me, Taurus or Libra energy, but both of them are Venusian, so it could be either one. So an interesting mixture of energies here, but really what comes to mind first looking at these cards is I feel like this is saying that, there has been an ending in a connection, and your approach toward it is to try to manifest the connection coming back together, but without you actually taking an active role in it. That's how I'm seeing it playing out there. So that could be part of the problem, right? Where you have a falling out with someone and you're like, okay, I definitely want to get the connection back on track, but I'm not actually going to physically do anything toward that. I'm just going to try to manifest it, so could be doing rituals, things along those lines to try to get the connection back on track. Maybe for some of you there can be some success around that, but that's just really what I'm seeing primarily is your approach, quite frankly. So it's kind of interesting. In the foundation position, we have the Wheel of Fortune, which represents Jupiter, and Jupiter will be switching signs in December. It'll be moving into Aquarius, which is your 12th house. The Sun, which doesn't necessarily point to a specific zodiac sign, but Leo is ruled by the Sun, so it could be a connection with Leo energy. Eight of Swords, which again is Gemini energy, and King of Wands, which is the court card for Leo. So could definitely be a Leo involved in this, or maybe you guys have some Leo energy in your chart. But what I'm seeing here with this, it could just be saying that there's some forward movement, or at the very least there's supportive energies for forward movement. And with the Sun card, we do see that light and playful energy. But with the Eight of Swords here, I feel like it's saying that for whatever reason, you're ignoring any signs that might be coming your way. The reason I say that is because of that blindfold, and we see it looks like her hands are tied, right? So again, I feel like there is this passivity around the approach to the situation for you, where you're like, for whatever reason, you're not really trying to take an active role toward fixing it. And it looks like the wheels are turning to where that's kind of what's being asked of you. But I feel, that's what I'm seeing there. Like, nope, I don't see that. No, I can't possibly take any action. My hands are tied, right? Nothing I can do about it. And again, this could represent the other person, certainly, or this could just be pointing more to your energy, where you're like just in that fixed energy where you're like, no, I want them to come to me. So, but obviously, let's say if this is the other person, then you can see where the issue is, right? If you're not trying to take any action, neither are they, then nothing's going to happen. All right, in the past position, we have the Ten of Wands, which is Sagittarius energy, and the Seven of Cups, which is Scorpio energy. So for some of you, this could just be saying that you might have, which tends to happen sometimes, because this connection might have been off the rails for you guys. You might have just been really throwing a lot of energy into your work lives. Or it could be the other way around, where maybe because you had to put so much energy into your careers, you couldn't really give much energy to the connection. So you're like, all right, well, I'll just hope that it'll kind of stay on course by itself, because I have to really tend to all this financial career related stuff. And with the Seven of Cups there, I feel like it's saying, no, it's not really lending you any clarity. If we even look at the Ten of Wands, it's like, well, could this person even see the way forward with the way they're carrying those wands, right? Or are they just doing it? So I feel like this was primarily a way you might have been distracting yourself around the situation, but at the same time, it wasn't really improving the conditions. You still had confusion and weren't really sure how to go about approaching the situation. All right, in the present position, we have the Six of Pentacles. So this is actually Taurus energy here, which does represent your third house of communication. So on the more positive side, this could just be saying that now you might finally be taking action to help restore balance in the connection. And again, like I said, it feels like it would just be primarily through communication. And doesn't even have to be anything like a grand gesture either from the looks of it, right? Because, this isn't like a major arcana card. It's just a regular, okay, talk things through, help restore balance in that regard. In the near future position, we have the King of Cups. So this is actually Scorpio energy, but obviously it can represent your energy as well, since you're also a water sign. But with this in reverse could just be saying that, so even let's say you do communicate to someone, I still feel like you might still be holding quite a bit back emotionally with the King of Cups in reverse. And possibly what it might have even been, some of you might have had one idea on how you wanted to approach something while the Mercury retrograde was happening in Scorpio. And now that we're past that energy, you actually might be reconsidering, a plan that you had. You're like, okay, this is what I'm going to do about the situation. And then for whatever reason, you might get cold feet and change your mind. But yeah, I do feel like overall there's a bit of a lack of openness around feelings here. That's primarily what I'm picking up on with that. All right, and in the position of your influence on the situation, we have the Tower. So the Tower obviously can represent a sudden and abrupt ending, or at the very least a change to a situation, a change in the perspective regarding a situation. So, maybe it is that way where for some of you it's just your view around the situation might be shifting. That's a possibility. But yeah, for some of you, it could just be saying, like I said, because I wasn't really picking up on the vibe that a lot of you were taking a lot of action. Like I said, it felt more like you guys were like, all right, I'm going to just manifest this connection coming back together. And what that could be saying there is possibly due to a lack of activity on your part, it might end up causing an ending. But if, like I said, it looks like you seem a bit closed off, and we'll get to the card in the environment soon. So it could be one of those things where you guys might need a reset anyway within the connection if it's going to work at all, So you might have to really just tear it down and start all over again, basically. All right. In the environment position, we have the King of Swords. So this is Aquarius energy here, which, like I said, that is your 12th house. And on the one hand, this could just be pointing to you, because like I was saying, we're going to have Jupiter move into that sign, and Saturn will move into that sign as well. So all that heavy energy shifting into your 12th house, that could be what really has you guys stuck in your head when those transits start to take place. But if this is another person, I can see why, there could be a little bit of lack of progress in the connection, because like I said, if you're a bit closed off around your feelings, if that's your energy there with the King of Cups in reverse, this person is quite closed off as well. Now, I will say, at the very least, they're in the upright, whereas you guys, if this is your energy, are in reverse. And we also see the Lovers in reverse. So it could just be saying that you hold the key to turning the connection around, but I can understand where you might feel like their energy might seem a bit cold to you. So you're like, well, I don't even know how this is going to play out if I do move toward this person. So, I get it to an extent. All right, hopes or fears. We have the Three of Pentacles. I'm going to assume this is a hope for the majority of you, and this is actually Capricorn energy. It represents building something stable, something long-lasting, something that's pleasing as well. So I'm guessing that this is what you're hoping for some actual cooperation, be able to build things, right? And what's interesting here is it is just the Three of Pentacles, right? So like I said, as far as with that Tower energy, I was getting a vibe where you guys might really have to just tear it down and start from scratch. So maybe that's what that even represents. Maybe you guys do go through that Tower moment in the connection, and then you're like, okay, that was a mess, right? But let's see if we could actually rebuild from here. So that could be what's happening for some of you. Wouldn't surprise me, things can happen like that during eclipse season. And I do have to say, timeline-wise, this pretty much represents, you might as well say, the first 10 days or so of January, give or take a day or two on either side. So timeline-wise, maybe that's saying that you could get it possibly back on track by then. And in the outcome position, we have the Chariot. So this is actually the Major Arcana card for Cancer, which for you guys is your 5th house of romance, creativity. And this could represent travel. So maybe some of you would be traveling for the holidays, of course, right? That's a pretty common thing, although this year it's quite a different set of circumstances. So maybe that is a bit of a rarity these days, but could represent travel. This is one of the cards that does tend to point to victory. This does represent forward movement as well. And if you think about the fact that we see the Lovers, which is card 6 in the Major Arcana in reverse, and then with the outcome energy, we do see 7 in the upright. So to me, it looks like this is saying you can steer the ship in the right direction. It's probably going to take some work. Like I said, there might even be a Tower moment, quite frankly. And yes, I understand that if this represents another person's energy and environment, they don't seem like the most open and inviting energy right now either. But I feel like it's just your energies are clashing in a negative way. That's just making the issue worse, So hopefully that resonates with you. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Queen of Wands, which is actually Aries energy. So again, this could just be another reminder for you guys to take action in the situation. But like I said, I do have to admit, especially with the Tower there, it looks like it might not go too smoothly. But like I said, it might almost be one of those things where it's like, well, got to do something about it one way or another, even if it just means tearing the foundation down and starting from scratch. So that's what I see there. And this could just be saying that, there might have been some holdups due to the Mars retrograde in Aries that was happening for a while. It's finally going direct again, but it's still going to take a while to build up to full speed. All right. On to the Oracle cards now. First, we have Chaos and Conflict. So obviously that makes me think of the Tower card, but there's the artwork. The number's 33. And we'll see what it has to say. Someone else did get this card this month too. I just can't remember who it is though. So if this is around another person, you might want to check their reading and see if they also had that card for their Oracle cards. But under essential meanings, it says disarray, being at cross purposes with another, the tension of opposites, the value of chaos before order. The Oracle's message: opposing forces come together to create a turbulent atmosphere. But consider the value of chaos that serves you well as you become unmoored by it. Scattered to the winds, you leave behind the parts of yourself you no longer need and disperse seeds to reinvent yourself anew. Although the conflict appears to exist externally, its essence is also internal, projected outward and causing disarray. You may find yourself at cross purposes with someone else, facing a storm you feel you can't control. Yet every storm passes, and chaos leads to a reordering of things. Conflict provides a way to see more than one side of a situation. Look upon this as just a moment in time when you may need to take shelter and step away from the fray. Don't be too eager to fight. This is a time to understand rather than to be understood. So definitely an interesting message there. Hopefully that resonated with you. And then the relationship message says, stubbornness is keeping you in a state of opposition. The incessant need to be right will only serve to prolong the conflict that deep down you want to be resolved. This is an opportune moment to learn about your values, your sense of self, what's really important to you. Some things are non-negotiable. If that's true, it's not necessary to fight. Can you find a way through the stormy emotions to higher ground? Soon the air will clear, and you will be in a much better place than before, for the storm will have passed, blazing a path for new growth in its wake. Things can become electric and enlightened, always better than before, if you use this time constructively. So interesting that I said things can become electric, because that definitely made me think of the lightning bolt imagery we see with the Tower card, but hopefully that resonated with you as well. And then the prosperity message says, circumstances appear to be chaotic, but everything that is happening now is in truth shaking things up so you can find the real path to your prosperity. Yes, it's a stormy time, and it feels as if there are opposing forces wherever you turn. Be reassured that there is a divine purpose in this chaos. Everything that doesn't work is being taken from you, so the truest parts of yourself remain. The events occurring now are essential for your ultimate prosperity. This chaos is divinely inspired, even though it doesn't appear that way now. In time, you will know this to be true. So an interesting message there as well. I didn't get like a huge career vibe with this reading, but I will say there will be a new moon eclipse in Sagittarius in December, which is actually your 10th house of career and social status, so there might be some shifts there as well. Although those will probably work out fairly well for you, even if not in the immediate short term. All right, next we have Koala Spirit. It says, Spirit has a plan. There's the artwork, and the number is 35. Okay, it says, in nature, the koala moves slowly through the branches of the eucalyptus tree, leisurely chewing the leaves, reminding us that life is not a race or competition. Chasing around after every distraction can keep us from recognizing that we have all we need and that Spirit will always be there with gifts to sustain us. You are being asked to trust that by moving slowly, with faith in the abundance that is everywhere, surrendering to a power greater than yourself, you will be able to experience the manifestation of your desire. As you take your time enjoying the riches available to you right now, sitting peacefully, you begin to radiate the joy and abundance you seek. Spirit is here to help you discover happiness, pleasure, and contentment, all gifts that are yours now and in the future. Have faith and trust in Spirit's plan for you, and know that you are loved and cherished. So definitely an interesting message there, and hopefully that resonated with you. It didn't seem to connect as well with the reading, but hopefully for some of you anyway, it did resonate. And then next we have Swan Spirit. It says time for deep dive. There's the artwork, and the number is 60. All right, we'll see what that has to say. Okay, it says, with their graceful long necks, swans are able to reach into the depths. When Swan Spirit arrives, you are called to take a deep dive beyond what is easily available on the surface. You may think you know what is best for you now, but take the plunge into the depths of your awareness, for there is knowledge you are not aware of, and great treasures to discover. Deeper understanding awaits you, and a perspective that comes from greater self-knowledge is what you need right now to better understand the situation or relationship. As you come to know yourself more intimately, so too will you come to better know others. So Swan Spirit asks you to go beyond the surface of what is happening between you and others, and resist the temptation to judge by superficial appearances. Know there is much deeper potential for loving connections, forgiveness, and mutual understanding. Choose to dive deep into your why. Asking the deeper questions of yourself, you are led by the grace of Swan Spirit. So definitely a pretty good message there, and I do feel like that might have resonated a little bit better with the main spread, but hopefully they all resonated with you. And lastly, we have a Mudra card for you guys. So the Mudra you guys got for this month is the Shunya Mudra. There it is there. And the keyword for it is omnipresence. All right. I don't think we could fit everything in a frame. All right, so let me get it to focus. Or not. Okay, really doesn't want to cooperate right now. But worst case, I mean, I'll read to you guys the benefits as always, but I was hoping we could get it to focus so you guys can get the info on it. Yeah, I give up. But all right, under benefits it says improves hearing, reduces ringing in the ears and earache, decreases vertigo, improves balance, especially useful during travel. With air travel, it helps the ears adjust to changing pressure during takeoff and landing. During water and land travel, it helps prevent motion sickness. So, definitely a good message for those of you who will be traveling. And there, we finally got it to focus. So, if you guys want to pause it to take a screenshot, there's part of what it says there, and then I'll move it up so you guys can see the rest as well. All right, there we go. And like I said, if you feel like this would be a useful mudra for you guys, I will put the name of the mudra in the description of the video. As always, we'll wrap up there, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.